Hi, this is Michael Carbajal, and you're watching True School Sports. Take care.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, word to my brethren around the world watching this video. In this video right here, I wanted to talk about, kind of just catch up on the news, because, I've had my Ward Kovalev videos coming out, so I've been really focused on that. But I wanted to kind of catch up on some of the more recent news that I may have missed while I was gone for those 7 or 8 days. So, for those who don't know, this, I'm going to say, was it Saturday or Sunday, one of those days, because I know they're in Australia. Big news, big, massive news. Manny Pacquiao, one of the best boxers of all time, arguably still, even with losing to Mayweather, still the best boxer of our era. One can make a claim that you could argue that. But anyway, Manny Pacquiao making history. Fighting on ESPN to kick off Top Rank's new ESPN series that they're doing, and I think this is a good move, man. When you talk about just I don't even want to say just boxing, but I would say like media in general is going more. Eventually, I don't even think fights will be on TV anymore. I think eventually, like 5 years from now, you'll see TV kind of become an obsolete thing, and you'll see boxing fights kind of move more to like streaming, as we've seen with many of these promotional companies like Top Rank, like Golden Boy. They stream their own fights, and eventually I think that'll become a thing that they do full time, because it makes more sense with the internet kind of having surpassed TV and cable. A lot of people have Netflix and on their computer, and they're on YouTube all the time, and so you'll see that eventually. But for the time being and for the short run, while boxing is still on television, I think this is great for boxing. Now, a couple years ago, if this would have been the case, Manny Pacquiao on ESPN, that'd be looked down upon, because ESPN has been looked at as a platform in the past for Friday night fights and less established fighters, prospects to kind of go and make their name. And you weren't big until you fought on HBO and Showtime. Well, now it's a little different, because HBO and Showtime, they kind of lost their footing with the American market, because of, number one, boxing in this country has become more of a niche sport, and two, like, it's expensive, and people don't have that kind of money. So, obviously it's against Jeff Horn, but how great is it that the world gets to experience at least just one time a name as big as Manny Pacquiao fighting on network television again? Obviously it's Jeff Horn, but still, to see Manny Pacquiao, for fans who may not be as familiar with him, or may have never seen him fight live, this will be their chances to see him fight live. So I think, once again, Manny Pacquiao doing a great service to boxing and being a great ambassador for the sport, fighting on ESPN. This is something that when Floyd was going to fight Andre Berto, if you guys remember, it was rumored that Floyd would fight Andre Berto on free TV for CBS, and I was happy about that when those rumors were floating around. But as we know, that didn't materialize, and he fought him on Showtime. So Manny's actually doing it, and I think it's going to be good for him. Now, Bob Arum has some quotes on this, and I want to read you some of these quotes. He said the following, I quote, "Boxing on a global basis is one of the biggest sports in the world. Unfortunately, we haven't seen that in the United States, because everything is either on pay-per-view or 2 premium networks on HBO or Showtime, which have limited audiences. For example, they did a survey at HBO. Of the 30 million subscribers that HBO has, less than 5% really watch boxing. That's only 1.5 million households. A lot of those households will have other appointments when a fight is there. So you're dealing with their effing small audience." And he's right, man. And usually that's the kind of those are the kind of numbers we see when the numbers do come out. Always somewhere between 800,000 to 1.5 million, or whatever the case may be. So he's not wrong in that regard. When we look at the fights that have done good numbers, have done some respectable numbers, they've all been on primetime. They've all been on like big time networks. You had Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman do 6.1 million views this year. You had Sean Porter and Keith Thurman last year just do under 4 million views. And then, if you guys remember, in 2015, when Leo Santa Cruz fought Abner Mares, that was a fight that did 1.6 million views. So these are numbers that are much better, that are much more encouraging. Even if you're a promoter of these fighters, if you're a promoter of putting those guys on networks, you're doing better numbers and you're getting more exposure to that guy. Now, you would have to expect that as this fight gets closer, you're going to have people who hear more about this fight, people who flip the channels and see Manny Pacquiao on ESPN, and they're going to say, dang, Pacquiao's still fighting? That's the first thing they're probably going to say, because most people don't even follow boxing and know that he's fighting still. But aside from that, I think it's good because to have a guy with that big of a name on network television, I'm going to be very interested to see what these numbers do. We'll see what happens, you know, but all in all, I think it's great for the sport. I think it's good that what Top Rank and Bob Arum is doing, and like I said, eventually it's a short-term thing. I think eventually you're going to wind up seeing fights being streamed on the internet all the time. So that's what it is there. Manny Pacquiao on ESPN, great for boxing. You know, he's fighting Jeff Horn, an Olympian that people don't really rate highly. I think it might actually be a better fight than we think, but that remains to be seen. But you guys let me know what you think. Manny Pacquiao fighting on ESPN against Jeff Horn. What do you think about the move? Let me know in the comments down below. Take the time to subscribe, and you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.